Writing linear equations in y equals mx plus b form given a verbal description. For each word problem, write the equation of the line in y equals mx plus b form. All right, so we want to write the equation of the line, and we want it to be in what we would call slope-intercept form. Before we even get started, I want you to know that this formula right here is on your formula chart. If you forget it, don't worry, it's on your formula chart. It's always going to be there for you. Another formula that's there for you is your slope formula. So if you think, gosh, which one is the m? Which one is the b? Well, look at your formula chart and it will tell you that the slope is equal to m. And the m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so that is all on your formula chart for you. You do not have to memorize it, but you probably will because we're going to do it a lot. Let's look at number 1. Jason borrowed $38,000 from a bank to buy a boat. To pay off the loan, he makes monthly payments of $950. Write a function to show the relationship between the loan balance B and the number of payments made, P. All right, reading through this, I don't see a lot of academic vocabulary in here, but I do see some important information. He borrowed $38,000. And he's making monthly payments of $950. I could actually create a table to represent that. After 0 payments, Jason owes $38,000. After 1 payment, he owes that much minus $950. So $37,050. After 2 payments, he would owe $36,100 and so on, right? But the main thing for us to know here is that he starts with that amount of debt, and each month it's going down $950. So this decreases by $950, and this increases by 1. So if we were going to graph this, what kind of slope would we have? Would we have a positive slope or a negative slope? A negative slope, right? He would start up here with $38,000 of debt and slowly pay it off. So the debt is less every month. And the slope is going to be $950, negative $950 every month. So M is going to equal negative $950 because that's the monthly payment. So we really have everything we need now to write an equation. We know that our B is 38,000 and that our slope is negative 950. So we're going to write y equals, and this is where our m goes. Which one is the m? The slope. So y equals negative 950 times x, which is our number of months, plus our initial debt, which was $38,000. That's our y-intercept. Really, I didn't quite follow instructions, did I? I should have made this a B, and I should have made this an M. I don't like that because B and M represent something else. I kind of like our equation better, so I'm going to go ahead and box it in. But just to follow the instructions here, it says that our loan balance is a B. It's like our Y. And that the number of payments is going to be, not an M, it's going to be a P, isn't it? It wants that to be a P. So our P is like our X. So we'd say B equals negative 950P plus $38,000. I kind of like ours better with the Y and the X because you could graph it, but we should use the variables that we were given. So our balance is equal to negative $950 times each month. It's the number of payments plus $38,000. Beautiful. And really, we didn't need to draw the table. We didn't need to draw the graph. I just did that to help illustrate what was going on here. On the next problem, I'm not going to draw a graph in a table like that. We're just going to talk about it. Let's read it. Stella sells small pumpkins for $1.50 each and apple baskets for $5.50 each. Write an equation that represents the total cost, C, of S small pumpkins and 7 apple baskets. Okay, so we have our 2 variables here. C is our total cost. That's going to be like Y. And then our small pumpkins is the other thing, number that we don't know here. So S is going to be like our X. And then we know that we have 7 apple baskets. We have some more important information here. We know that the small pumpkins are $1.50 each. And we know that the apple baskets are $5.50 each. I'm going to go ahead and figure out how much our 7 apple baskets cost, because we know that we bought 7 of them. So $5.50 times 7. So the apple baskets are $38.50. Well, that is a lot of money on apples. Okay. And then we need to figure out how to write an equation for the cost based on the number of pumpkins. We don't know how many pumpkins this person bought. So in this case, my dependent variable is C. So I'm going to say C equals, and then I need to think about what my rate of change is here. So I know that the apple baskets were $5.50 each, but I also know that I bought 7 apple baskets and that we've already taken that into account. That was $38.50. The number that I need to multiply by for the small pumpkins is $1.50. Each small pumpkin costs $1.50. So let me write $1.50 times S. That's my number of small pumpkins. So that's the cost of the pumpkins right there. Then I need to add to that the cost of the apple baskets. So my total cost is going to be equal to $1.50 times my number of small pumpkins plus that $38.50 per my apple baskets. Now, before we move on from this one, if I was going to graph these, what would these represent? Well, $1.50 would be my slope, the cost of each small pumpkin, and $38.50 would be my y-intercept, the amount of money that I spend for the apples before purchasing any pumpkins at all. If I buy 0 pumpkins, I'm still paying $38.50 for my apples. This next problem is about maybe renting an Airbnb. It says the cost of a home rental includes a maintenance fee and a nightly rate. The home rental includes a $250 maintenance fee. The home rental costs $1,126.25 for 5 nights. And the home rental costs $1,476.75 for 1 week. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that represents the total cost in dollars, y, for a home rental of X nights. So just looking at this, I think I already have my y-intercept figured out. Let me box this in. Costs $250 for a maintenance fee. The reason I think this is my y-intercept is because let's say that I stay in this house for 1 hour. I don't even stay a whole night. I'm still going to have to pay that maintenance fee. $250 is what I pay before I've even spent the night in the house. So that's going to be my y-intercept B. It's the starting cost to rent the house. Now, it doesn't directly tell me what my nightly cost is. I know there is one nightly rate, and I have 2 pieces of information here about that rate. So I am going to create a table based on these points right here. When in doubt, make a table. So let's have our nights and then our dollars. We know that 5 nights costs $1,126.25. That's easy. Great. That's a little bit messy. That's better. Okay. And then I know that a week costs $1,476.75. So here's the question. How many nights are in a week? 7. Great. So now I have a table. And you know what's exciting about this? I actually could type this in Desmos exactly like it is, right? I don't have to do anything else. Now, I could solve this by hand. I could figure out that slope by hand with the information that I have here. Let me use my slope formula this time, I believe. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's label these guys. x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay, so substituting that in, I have $1,476.75 minus $1,126.25. And then the bottom's easy. My denominator is just 7 minus 5. Great. So I would type that into the calculator, although I guess I could subtract it just for fun, but I would probably type that in the calculator. And it comes out to $175.25 per night. Excellent. That's my rate of change. That's my nightly cost. So let's write this down. We can now write that y is equal to $175.25 per night. So times x, that's my number of nights. And then I have to add to that the $250 maintenance fee that is there no matter how many nights I stay. Now what I want you to do, remember we had a table. Our table's right here, right? I figured out by hand what this equation would be, but what I want you to do is type this table right here into Desmos and then click this little symbol right there and see what it tells you. It's amazing. It tells you this exact equation right there. It gives you the answer. So what I want you to take away from that is if you can make a table, Desmos can give you an equation. And in this case, what we did to make a table is we just used this information right here. We used the number of nights as X and the cost as Y. And we made a table relating X to Y, and then Desmos told us that our nightly rate would be $175.25 and that our maintenance fee would be $250, as we knew it was from the beginning.